This week, we received more confirmation about Joe Biden's trip to Ukraine in 2015 from the reporting of John Solomon, who got his hands on the State Department's internet documents. Listen.
Treasury, Justice, and State Department officials, and they advised Joe Biden in October 2015, just before he left to go to Ukraine, that, in fact, they should give the $1 billion to Ukraine, give the third loan guarantee, because the prosecutor's office was doing a good job on anti-corruption efforts. Their reforms were working.
That's odd. We reached out to the White House for a response on all of Victor Shokin's allegations. We gave him the transcript against President Biden and more. And White House spokesperson Ian Sams said this. They provided us with this statement. For years, these false claims have been debunked. And now, no matter how much airtime Fox gives them, they'll remain false. Fox is giving a platform for these lies to a former Ukrainian prosecutor general whose office's own deputy called a hotbed of corruption. Yeah, they had a problem with the deputy. And why shouldn't we hear somebody else's side of the story? I continue. They're drawing demands for reform not only from the then Vice President Biden, but also from U.S. diplomats. I'll have more on that in a second. International partners and Republican senators like Ron Johnson, who I know cannot wait to sound off on this. Maybe we'll get him next week. It is also important to note that President Biden, Hunter Biden, and Devin Archer have not been charged and implicated in any illegal activity, corruption, bribery, or connection with Burisma. And as for where the criminal case stands against Burisma after 2 years of investigating Burisma corruption, the prosecutor's office watered down the charges to evasion. Burisma settled and paid a large amount of money to Mykola Zlochevsky. He was cleared of corruption in that case. But in regards to the $6 billion bribe Shokin mentioned, a former Burisma manager, Andriy Kitcha, reached a plea deal and received a suspended sentence. So, joining me now to respond and reflect and react to this exclusive interview, someone who is not a stranger to the Biden family business. Fox News contributor, New York Post columnist, among her books is Laptop from Hell, Miranda Devine. Miranda, your reaction to Shokin speaking for the first time in America?
Hi, Brian. Well, good on you for interviewing him and allowing him to clear his name, because he's really been defamed for the last couple of years by Joe Biden and the mainstream media, because Joe Biden alleged that he was corrupt. He said that he was corrupt, and he allowed all his minions to sow that lie among the rest of the mainstream media. There's just no evidence that Victor Shokin was corrupt. And, you know, you would think that if the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post and the New York Times and the rest of them are saying such a bald-faced thing from the same source, that they would do some rudimentary fact-checking. But they didn't, because there is no evidence that he's corrupt. What seems to happen is that they conflate what happened with real corruption and a real bribe, that $6 million bribe to get Zlochevsky off the hook with this London investigation. That was paid to the previous Prosecutor General's office. Shokin was not in the chair then. He was actually brought in to clean up. That was why his predecessor was fired, because of that bribe. And Shokin was brought in to clean it up. And ironically then, he's pinned with that corruption.
Right. He was pulled out of retirement by Poroshenko as a favor to come clean it up. And next thing you know, he's told to move out. Now, on the reference from the White House, on those, they're very interesting, and how disingenuous, at least.